Hey everybody, it's Brandon Mullen, and perhaps by now you've seen that I am no longer running for Portland City Council. I wanted to talk a little bit about that and give some thanks. First of all, I learned a few days ago from the auditor's office during what I thought was a perfunctory check of my eligibility to run for this office that they did not find that I was qualified because I had not been registered to vote in this address in this district for long enough. I had missed the cutoff by a week and a half or so. And that's my fault. That's on me, period. It's important for me to share that when I learned this news, my first thought was, how could this be? How could this happen? Because I checked and double and triple, and I thought I had done everything I needed to do to make sure I was eligible, because I knew we were coming back from the East Coast on a relatively tight timeline in late October, and I don't ever remember seeing that requirement. So it was actually my wife who did some digging and was like, Brandon, the auditor's website where it says how to run for office and the requirements does not include that 1 year having registered at your address as a requirement. Lo and behold, it does not include that requirement. It also doesn't include that requirement in several sections of their candidate guide to help you figure out how to run for office. And specifically, I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of the sections is like residency verification. And that specific requirement that I don't meet was not in there.
Also wanted to note that this requirement is also not in the 47-minute candidate webinar on the auditor's website. I went through the whole video, and I also use a transcript checker. They mention being registered to vote at your address and district. They do not mention that you have to be registered in district for a year preceding the election. It's just not in that webinar either, and I wanted to mention that.
Now, it is included elsewhere in the guide, and it is importantly included in city charter. I should have dug deeper. I should have looked harder, and this is on me. And that really, really stings, because this campaign, because of you all, was doing incredible things. I was excited to announce that we had reached 250 donors and more. I was waiting for certification from the Small Donor Elections Program, which needs certification for the auditor's office. So there was I wanted to wait until that was official to share it. I was confident in a number of endorsements from some groups that I think are doing great work. There's a lot that I wanted to share, and there's a lot that we were about to start doing, which was really, really exciting. And our path to winning this election had become much, much clearer in the last month and a half. And so to get this news and to know that it's on me is really gutting. And I'm not going to lie, the last few days have been incredibly, incredibly difficult. And I just wanted to be honest about that. It's been very, very hard. So with that, a couple of good news pivots. Good news is that there are lots of candidates in this race and other races that you should be supporting. And I'll be fighting really hard to make sure that those people get elected. There are a lot of really good groups and organizations around Portland doing incredible work. I now have more time to focus on that stuff and to just help, which I'm genuinely very, very excited for. I'll tell you that part of my learning how to become a candidate, which has been a process for me, was my discomfort with showing up somewhere wanting to help, but then knowing like, hey, I'm running for office too. I'm doing this thing over here. And now, as before, I can just show up and help, which is really cool and really freeing. So I'm excited to do that. I wanted to give some thanks, and to a couple specific people. First, to my campaign manager, Michelle. You've believed in me for so long, including my first stint at City Hall where we first met. And you believed in me this whole time and supported me this whole time. And I'm so thankful for you. Thank you. To Connor, who had just joined our team as our field director. Connor, I already told you this. I'm so excited to see what you do, and I am going to be supporting you no matter what that is. So like both Michelle and Connor, we'll be in touch, right? And So that's number one, those two people specifically. And my wife, Cassie, who was a de facto member of the team. There's a lot of people that I could thank individually, and you know who you are, and I love you, and I'm so thankful for you. Thank you. I also wanted to say thank you to everybody who supported this campaign. Your support to fight for Portland where everyone has housing, to fight for a Portland where people can get around by transit and by walking and by bike and not be afraid of getting squashed by a car, to everybody who wanted to support Portland's incredible small businesses, to everybody who wanted to fight for working people and working families and unions, to everybody who wanted to actually do something substantive about climate justice, to everybody who wanted to fight back against a fascist federal government, to everybody, whatever part of this campaign you could see yourself in and connected to, thank you so much. It means the world to me that we were coming together to do this really cool thing. And I was excited to share a lot of things about this campaign because it felt like we were just getting going, and we were. And again, I am just, I feel awful about the way in which this is ending. And also to everybody who supported this campaign, I am sorry. Again, I really, really should have double, triple, quadruple, whatever, modifier. I should have dug harder and dug deeper to find that requirement that is, preventing me from running. And with that, what I'll say is there's so much to do. Let's get to work. The good news is you're going to hear from me. You're going to see from me. There are great candidates to support. There are great policies to be supporting. Make your way to City Hall. It's a cool building. You get comfortable there. Get comfortable sharing your voice, speaking out. Get comfortable working with different groups, doing cool stuff, and adding your time when you can, if you can. The last thing I'll say, I want everyone to consider running for office themselves. We are in a moment in our country's history where I believe one of the most important ways out of wherever we're going, which doesn't look good, is caring, thinking, thoughtful people from a diversity of perspective, of culture, of background, of thinking, of approach. A lot of really cool people who maybe never saw themselves as an elected official saying, you know what, I'm going to go for that position or that position. We need a democracy that is representative of the people who live here, and especially at the federal level, I do not think we have that. I will say at the local level, much, much better diversity of approach, culture, perspective, opinion, and we really just need everyone to throw their hat in the ring, is my opinion. If you ever want to talk about that, let me know. Happy to talk. Okay, that's it. Again, you'll see me around. And I'm excited to work with you on whatever it is you're interested in. If you're working on a project you're passionate about, working with cool people doing cool stuff, please reach out to me because I would love to lend my support and help and labor if I can. And with that, that's it. I appreciate you all so much. And until next time, bye.